Chapter 1. Private Detective Agatha Raising was being driven back to her Cotswold home by her young and beautiful assistant, Tony Gilmore. It was an early autumn evening, and the sun briefly broke through a mantle of dark cloud to cast lengthening shadows across the road. They drove without conversation. The only sound the burble of the car's engine as it echoed off the embankments, trees, and hedgerows on either side of the country lane. Agatha stole a glance towards Tony. She really was a very pretty young thing, she mused. Blonde hair, blue eyes, and a trim figure. Clothes were a bit cheap, and that short skirt had ridden up alarmingly while she had been driving. Decent legs, a bit skinny, not like Agatha's shapely, elegant pins. She cast an eye over her own exquisite grey Chanel suit, the skirt's hemline sitting just the right height above her knee. The jacket clung to her somewhat stocky frame in all the right places. She kept her figure in check with occasional bouts of furious dieting. She knew how to make the most of her assets. She could still show these youngsters a thing or two. Who was she kidding? Tony was more than 30 years her junior. She didn't have to try to make the most of anything. At that age, she didn't have to try much at all. She just looked great. Agatha felt a sudden pang of jealousy. "That skirt's a bit tarty for business, isn't it?" she said. Tony shot her a look of exasperation. "Last time I wore it, you said it looked just right," she said. "Or was that only because you wanted me playing the dumb blonde?" "Be careful not to typecast yourself, dear," warned Agatha. "You're impossible sometimes," gasped Tony, her knuckles turning white as she clenched her fingers around the steering wheel. "Is she imagining those hands around my neck?" wondered Agatha. In a rare moment of self-restraint, she bit her lip, deciding not to push Tony any further. She had felt waves of animosity emanating from the young woman all day, and couldn't understand why. They had had a very successful day, after all. They were returning from a meeting with an engineering company, Morrison's, who had hired Raising Investigations to look into what they believed to be industrial espionage. The company manufactured batteries of various types and was developing a new battery pack that it claimed would double the range of an electric car. Strangers had been seen lurking around. There had even been a mysterious fire in the research and development department one night, although no one had been in the building at the time, and the fire brigade could not be certain how the blaze had started. There was certainly no evidence to suggest arson. Albert Morrison, the company's chairman, had signed a contract with Agatha before she and Tony had left his office, promising a very generous sum of money. Agatha had assured him that they would be on the case straight away. The downside was that it would involve a lot of grunt work. Any spy from a rival company hoping to steal Morrison's secrets would surely need help from someone on the inside. The investigation would entail trawling through employee records and conducting interviews, checking for anything unusual. They would be looking for anyone with a criminal background or serious money worries, or maybe someone harboring some kind of grudge against the company. All that would mean working long hours, and those hours would have to be done by Agatha and Tony. Everyone else at the agency was up to their eyes in work. Divorce, it seemed, was the height of fashion these days, and it felt like half the married women in the county needed evidence of their husbands philandering. Men seldom approached the agency to find evidence of their wives' infidelities. Most men seemed to prefer a more direct approach, confrontation and accusation. Women, Agatha believed, were more subtle, more cunning, more devious. The female of the species, as Kipling put it, is more deadly than the male.